Okay, let's dive in. Today we're unpacking a really powerful story. It's about trust, betrayal, and just the incredible weight a secret can have.
Yeah, it's heavy stuff. We're drawing from excerpts of a book, The Silence Between Them, a story of trust and betrayal.
Right. And our goal here isn't just to say secrets are bad. We want to really get into how silence causes such devastation and look at the flip side, the power of truth, even when it's really hard.
Exactly. All through the lens of this one couple's story. It's intense because it shows how choices made under pressure, can unravel everything.
So the book starts by painting this picture of Erica and Darius. What did their life look like from the outside?
Oh, picture perfect. Seriously. Married 7 years. You get these little snapshots, vacation photos from Cabo, Sunday brunches. They even collected jazz vinyl together.
Like that couple everyone sort of aspires to be.
Totally. Everything just screams stable, connected, happy.
Okay, so that's the surface. But the source, it pulls back the curtain pretty quickly, right?
Yeah.
Reveals this huge secret Darius was holding on to.
A massive one. It turns out 2 years before they even got married, Darius tested positive for HIV.
2 years before, wow.
Yeah. And the book really emphasizes his thinking than the fear, the shame. He made the choice not to tell Erica.
And his reasoning was?
He basically believed, or maybe convinced himself, that his medication could manage it, keep the virus suppressed, and that silence, just not saying the words, that would be enough. Enough to protect what they were building.
Okay. And for a while, according to the book, it seemed like he was managing, keeping up with medication.
For a good stretch, yes. Viral load suppressed. But then things shifted. The book talks about this really stressful period he went through.
And stress changes things.
It really does. It led to him slipping up, missing medication doses, skipping doctor's appointments, crucial ones.
And he didn't mention this lapse to Erica either.
No, still silence. And predictably, medically speaking, his viral load started creeping up. The amount of virus in his system wasn't controlled anymore.
Okay, so the risk factor increases dramatically. What does the source say happened then? The direct consequence of that rising viral load and the secrecy.
There was this one night, the book describes it quite vividly, where they had unprotected sex.
And because his viral load was no longer suppressed?
Exactly. That act, that single night, had immediate life-altering consequences for Erica.
Right. The book details her starting to feel unwell. It wasn't obvious at first, was it?
No, vague things. Tiredness, just feeling off. Then fevers, a rash develops.
Symptoms that eventually lead her to a doctor, and then the diagnosis.
She tests positive for HIV.
And the book really focuses on that moment she tells Darius and his reaction, or lack of reaction.
That's portrayed as the absolute turning point. He just freezes. The book uses that word, freezes.
And then Erica asks that devastating question. You knew. Just let that hang there. You knew. What does the source say about the silence that followed that?
It's powerful. The book says the silence wasn't just an absence of words. It stretched on, and in stretching, it became the betrayal.
Wow. Not just confirming the secret, but the act of silence itself was the betrayal.
Precisely. It solidified everything hidden into this active, catastrophic wound. The true cost laid bare.
And understandably, the marriage couldn't survive that. The book is clear, right?
No, it ended. The trust was just shattered, completely gone.
But the story doesn't end there, which is important. The source shows how both of them, separately, eventually move towards breaking the silence.
Yeah, this is where it gets complex. It moves beyond just tragedy. Erica, dealing with immense pain and betrayal, channeled it.
How so?
Into advocacy. She started speaking out in communities, joining support groups, really working to educate people, trying to rebuild her own life, her own sense of trust.
Finding purpose in that truth-telling. And what about Darius? His path forward?
Different, but also involved breaking the silence eventually. The source mentions him telling his story too, but focusing specifically on accountability.
Taking responsibility.
Yeah, acknowledging the horrific cost of his choice, his silence, and the ripple effect.
So the book seems to show that while silence created the destruction, breaking it, even way later, after all the pain, that was the only path towards any kind of healing.
Exactly. It wasn't about fixing the past, that was impossible, but about maybe finding some kind of foundation for a future built on what was real.
So when we boil it down, what are the core messages from this story, according to the source? It's more than just tell the truth.
It really shows the layers of damage silence causes, the physical risk, obviously, but also the complete destruction of trust, the deep emotional scars.
And it suggests that fear and shame, while totally human, can lead to choices far worse than the difficult truth itself.
Absolutely. It argues that pretty forcefully. And then the flip side truth, even when it blows things up initially, is the only way to start rebuilding, for accountability, for finding purpose again, like they both eventually did.
It's the hard road out of the wreckage.
Genuine safety, physical and emotional, it has to be built on honesty, even terrifying honesty.
This story from the book, it gives us so much to think about regarding secrets and silence. We've seen the immense price here. Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What silences are out there in our own lives? Maybe closer than we think, families, communities, even bigger societal issues. What might they be costing us without us even realizing it? Something to chew on.